Okay, this question says ABCD is a rectangle, and I could see that here in the diagram. EFGH is a trapezium. I could see that again here in the diagram. It has a four-sided shape and it has two parallel sides, or a pair of parallel sides. The perimeter of these two shapes are the same, so the distance around both the shapes. So if I added the distance up around the rectangle and the distance around the trapezium, they should be the same, even though they don't look the same. The diagrams are not drawn to scale, so don't assume that. They've also said that all measurements are in centimeters. Work out the value of x. This is a pretty standard question, and you should be able to do it. We need to make sure your layout is good and you show all your workings in a clear way. So first of all, I need to work out the perimeter of each of the shapes. So let's just look through. We know it's a rectangle and a trapezium. The perimeters of both the shapes are the same. All the measurements are in centimeters, and they want us to work out x. So looking at this rectangle, this side here is also 3x plus 4. This side here is also 4x. And now I have an expression around the whole rectangle. The perimeter of the rectangle, then, I need to add up all four of those expressions. So in other words, 3x at 4, 4x, 3x at 4, and 4x, and I've written them out here. Add up the x's, so 4x at 3x is 7x, 4x at 3x is 7x, 2 lots of 7x is 14x, and 4 add 4 is 8. So take your time as you go through those and make sure you get that total answer. We're going to do the same thing for the trapezium. Go all the way around the trapezium and add up each of those expressions. And in this case, we have x minus 3, 5x, 7x minus 3, and 5x. So I've gone around and I've got all four of them. Make sure you check that you haven't missed any of them out or haven't written any of them incorrectly. Okay, let's add up the x's. I have 5x and x is 6x. 6x and 5x is 11x. 11x and 7x is 18x. Minus 3 and minus 3 make minus 6. Okay, so I have 18x minus 6. These are expressions for the perimeter of each of these shapes. What they have said to us is that the perimeters of both shapes are the same. So what I could do now is I could make an equation where, because the perimeters of the shapes are the same, I could make 14x plus 8 equal 18x minus 6. There's my equation, and you're going to get marks for this as well. So we've picked up marks for working out the perimeters of each of the shapes, and now we're going to pick up marks for working out, or for writing down this equation to show that we know that they're the same. And now we need to solve this equation. I need to bring all the x's over to one side, so that 14x is going to stay put. I'm going to take away 18x. The minus 6 on the other side is going to stay put, and I'm going to minus 8 from that. Take that 8 plus 8 across, and it becomes minus 8. 14x take away 8x is 4x. 6 minus 8 is minus 14. And I need to do minus 14 divided by minus 4. You could use a calculator for that, but remember, minus divided by minus is a plus. So on my calculator, I could simply do 14 divided by 4, right? Or minus 14 divided by minus 4. And you should get your result there, 3.5. Okay, so 3.5 is the value of x, and that goes in my answer space. This is a really important style of question. It's very popular in the new spec. You need to make sure you get your head around it, read the questions very carefully, and present your work absolutely clearly. Let's look at part 2. In part 2, it says write down the length of write down the length and the width of the rectangle. So we want to work out the length and the width of this rectangle here in the shape. Okay, so this is part of the question. I've presented the question slightly differently here, right? So what we know so far is that x is equal to 3.5. We have this expression for the length, 3x plus 4. That's 3 lots of x plus 4. And we have an expression for the width, 4x. That means 4 lots of x. Okay, so the length, as I said, was 3x plus 4. So it's 3 times 3.5. plus 4. The width is 4x. That's 4 times 3.5. Let's just do this for the length. 3 times 3.5 plus 4 is equal to 10.5 plus 4, and that's 14.5. Put that in the answer space. For the width, that's going to be 4 times 3.5, bang on 14, and that goes in the answer space. Show a little bit of workings with it, but it is pretty straightforward. Look at the mark for this question. It's 6 marks. This is a big mark question, right? If you lose all the marks in this question, that's a lot of marks to lose. Make sure you are able to do it, and review this several times.